at it now, before it's trending on social media. It's The Rich Stevens Show on News Talk 850 WFTL.
Oh, Rich Stevens Show. Right. Oh, Rich Stevens Show. Rich is right.
Unfortunately, we lost a radio great.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yes, indeed. Thank you. Thank you. That's that Wait a Million Years by Maria Ospinskaya, ladies and gentlemen. I think she did. It's time now for my name. Oh, you don't know how secure that makes me feel, because I'm still here whenever I hear that, because we have quarter-hourly options on my show. And now, let's get away from it all. Oh, wouldn't you love to?
Leave the train on the track. Take the bus off your back. Leave the gang in a box. Get into this world. Pan makes the going great.
Let's take off for Ireland. Pan Am Holiday 422 gives you 2 weeks there, including jets, accommodations, a car with unlimited mileage, and all for as little as $275. Sounds wild, doesn't it? Well, you see a Pan Am travel agent, get the details, or call 973-4000.
WABC.
30 seconds of news. Mr. Garrett's here to get you up to date on what's happening amongst the world, which, of course, is insanity. And then right after that, we're going to have a little sugar. Doing you all, CJ.
Legendary New York radio personality Dan Ingram, who is best known and loved for his 21-year run at the equally iconic Music Radio 77 WABC New York, has passed away here in South Florida last night at the age of 83. Apparently, he had numerous neurological problems over the last few years, and his death was a consequence of choking. Now, according to his son, Chris, he did not suffer. I got to tell you, I'm so sad I can't even express how I feel. WABC was a legendary radio station that made me want to be on the radio as a kid. And the two people I listened to all the time was, of course, Dan Ingram and my good friend, cousin Brucie, who joins us here on the Rich Stevens Show. First, Bruce, let me apologize for waking you up early this morning with this sad news.
Yeah, it was, because the first thing you said to me, how am I doing? I said, great. And then you gave me the news, and it's very, very upsetting. This is about the second or third time in my life that I was not aware of something, because I'm up in my country home and was sort of sequestered away from the world, which is what you want when you get away from your normal habitat, so to speak. And when you told me this, wow, it just blew my head. Well, the last time this happened was with John Lennon. And Jody and I, my wife Jody and I were in Connecticut on a little holiday, and they woke me up and said, can you talk to us about John Lennon's death? And I said, what? And they told me, and I got speechless, and I said, look, you're going to have to call me back. I got very upset. And you did the same thing to me this morning. You son of a gun. I'm sorry.
I truly am sorry. It's not a phone call you want to make. I recently talked to Chris. We're connected on Facebook, and he said his dad was doing much better. And so this came as, and we always say this when somebody passes away, it came as so unexpected, but it truly did, because the last I heard from Chris, he said he was doing fine with his dad.
Yeah. Well, from what I know, I lost contact with Dad over the years. And, that's what happens when you're not together. Dad lived down where you're in neck of the woods. And I'm very active, as you know, with Sirius XM. So I'm on the air and I'm doing my thing. And you lose contact with the guys when you're not working with them every day. And Dan and I spent many, many years together on WABC, as you just noted. And you played something that was kind of interesting to hear that again. I haven't heard Dan on the air in a long time. And you lose contact. I did last time I saw him, we were on a cruise together for WNBC, and I saw him, and he was not doing well. He was on a cane, I remember, and he told me he was not feeling that well. And then he went down to Florida, and that was really the last time I think I actually spoke to him. So I'm very saddened by the news. It's another end to a great radio era. And Dan was, an innovator and extremely an original performer. And he did his thing, and we developed, all of us, one of the great, legendary broadcast stations. And I say that with all humility, if I may, and I think you'll agree with me, that there's ever been in broadcasting at WABC. And it started a whole new trend, and it kept it going for a long time. It was a wonderful experience in my life.
Yeah, it was just, obviously iconic. You were the person that inspired me to want to work in this industry and do this. As you know, I started out as a music DJ like you did, ended up in talk many years later. But and I've shared this story before. When I got hired by ABC to walk into that building was such a feeling for me that I can't even describe. And I'll never forget my first day on the radio at WPLJ, and Jim Kerr walks in. He says, hi, with 2 cups of the blue and white coffee cups, which is so familiar to New Yorkers. You know what I'm talking about. And he hands me a cup of coffee. He says, hey, you sound great. He says, you mind if I sit down? I said, no. He says, I'm Jim Kerr. I said, I know who you are. And he wanted to tell me that the board that I had my fingers on was the original WABC board. And just a chill went through my body.
Well, that's, it's hard for people to understand that, but I understand because you and I share the same feelings. We're both radio people, and there's not too many left anymore. The tradition is really coming to a pretty good end. It's all different today. As you know, I do my show now with Sirius XM, and I love what I do, and I practice the style that you grew up with. The very informal, very one-on-one. I talk right to the audience, never at them. But that was what we used to do at that WA Beatles scenes we used to call back in those days. But that kind of radio is a little different. Today, it's very business-like, and we'll use the word digital. It's very clean. It's very different. When we were doing this thing, and Ingram and I were on WABC and the shows before that, we were flying by the seat of our pants, Marcus. We were really developing this style of radio, a new style of radio, contemporary radio, which lasted for a long, long time. I'm still practicing it and listening to you when I'm down in Florida visiting my daughter Meredith. I hear you're doing what you're doing on one-on-one. You talk to people and you're doing talk. And I love it. I love the idea that you're continuing the radio tradition. Congratulations to you.
Well, thank you so much. That means so much to me. We're talking to cousin Brucie about Dan Ingram, who just passed away last night here in South Florida. It makes me even sadder that he was here in South Florida, and I spoke to his son, I guess a couple months ago. I kept trying to get him to come on the radio with us like you have so many times. And I can tell you this now, the first time that you were on with me on my show, which was several years ago, I tried my darndest to get Dan to call in as a surprise, and I guess at that point he wasn't even that well, so it never got to pull it off.
Yeah, as far as I know, he's been ill for quite a long time. I'm just talking to Jody, my wife Jody. I was going down, in my heart, who we work with all these times, and it looks like I'm one of the last men standing from that particular tradition of the original what we call good guys and all Americans.
Yeah. So who exactly is left?
Well, Harry, I believe Harry Harris is left. I know he is. He's not well. I believe he's not doing too well. Ron Lundy passed away, as you know. Chuck Leonard passed away. Babaloo. Now Dan, which is very sad to me. It's funny. I was just talking to Dan about Dan. I'm not talking to him. I was talking about Dan the other day. Somebody asked me how he's doing, and I said, "Well, I don't know." And then you called me this morning. But there's not anybody that I know that's left of that original graduating class. So, there are some of the guys left now that are on the radio, but they weren't in the original group. But Bobby J. and Don K. Reed, they're still around. We lost Dan Daniels. He was on WMCA and eventually worked with us at CBS FM. So this whole gang of mine is getting to be very narrow, and that's kind of scary.
Yeah, I bet. I'm glad you're doing okay, cousin Brucie. When are you planning on coming down here again? Because I want to get you into the studio again.
Oh, I'd love it. I don't know. I'm going to come down eventually to do some work tonight. We get down there to see my daughter, Meredith. They live in Delray. And so we get down there, and then we really enjoy it. And the last time I was down there, I know you weren't feeling too hot. You were a little under the weather.
Yeah. I was in a hospital when you were here last time.
I know. And I asked, Meredith kept tabs for me, and I know exactly what you were doing when you got out. And I kept tabs on you. I really did.
Thank you. That means so much to me.
You're a good guy. You really are. And we should be coming down, I'd say, within 6 months, maybe a little earlier, to come see our daughter. And what I'll do is I'll have Meredith give you a buzz, give you a heads up, and we can work that out. I love it. I love to see you. I enjoy being on the air with you. As I said, you're a radio guy, and we are becoming a rarity.
I can't tell you how much that means to me, hearing those words from your mouth. It's just incredible, and it's always been a big thrill for me to not only have listened to you and grew up listening to you with the radio under my pillow, like so many others.
Well,
and I was late for school numerous times because of you, but I made it through school.
No, you did great. Dan, let's go back to Dan for a minute if we have a moment. I just want to say how he was an original. For its time, he was kind of shocking. This is before the word shock jock was invented. And Dan sort of opened the door to some of that. I mean, by today's standard and what you hear on the air today sometimes with these guys with the pretty nasty mouths, was very mild. He was mild. He was just, he was more irreverent and shocking. But for that time, it worked very, very well. And we all had a good time together.
Yeah.
We had a good time. He was very different than I was, and I was different than he was.
It was definitely a different time in radio, but as I said, it really, truly made me appreciate radio and want to do that kind of radio, and my dream came true when I got hired and was able to walk into the same building that you worked in. It was probably one of the coolest moments in my time, because I remember as a kid taking pictures in front of that huge cube, that ABC cube in front of the building on 6th Avenue. And I said to friends, I mean, we didn't have Facebook back then, obviously, but I said to everybody, I'm going to be working in this building one day. And sure enough, when I was a lot younger, it came true. And it was just, I would get chills walking in through the security guards in that lobby every day.
Yeah, and that's good. I always tell people, parents get on the phone with me and ask them to talk to their children. A lot of them want to do certain things. I always tell them the same thing. If you have a dream, just do it. Don't let anybody talk you out of it, and follow it. And look at you. It happened. It happened to me. I always wanted to do this all my life. I think my first desire was to become a doctor. My next life, I'll do that, if there is such a thing. I want to study medicine. But I've always loved radio. Love it. And it's led to so many great roads for me. And it continues. I am probably as active and more active today than I have ever been. I love what I do. It's just keeps on going. The energy's there, the flow is there, and the audience is amazing what I'm doing today. I love it. I love what I'm doing.
It's because
my friend Ingram will be missed, and he'll go down and with the other legendary people that I've had the pleasure and privilege of working with too.
Yeah.
So we go on, and we'll continue.
Well, I'm happy to call you my friend, the legendary cousin Brucie. Again, I apologize for calling you so early with this terrible news about Dan Ingram passing away at the age of 83 right here in South Florida. But I appreciate you for you, and I appreciate you taking time to reminisce about the good old days on WABC.
Well, we lost another original broadcaster, and he will be missed, but he'll always be revered, and the tradition will always be part of our lives.
Yeah.
It's part of our DNA.
Yeah,
accomplish that. Yep.
Without a doubt. And the good thing is he was inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame, so there's plenty of tape of Dan Ingram from the good old days. And what can I say? It's just something that you don't enjoy talking about, but I'm glad I was able to share this with you, and you're able to share your stories with me.
You never want to think about a day like this coming, but what can I tell you? There it is, and we'll go on. And he left a great impression on radio. That's the most important thing. He impressed the people, and radio he did very well for. Yeah,
definitely. And baby DJs like me who were inspired by him and you, and and that entire radio station. Just truly amazing.
Great. Well, keep on doing it. I'm going to keep on doing it. The energy's there. I can hear your energy. Mine is like a boiler.
I know. It's great.
I love it.
Well, listen, Cousin Brucie, stay well, stay in touch, and when you come down, I think what I'd like to do this time when you come down, a little bit different than we've done in prior visits, I think I'd like to do it in front of an audience. We have a performance studio here at the new station, and invite some people in if that's okay with you, and just let people...
Listen, I love you. You give me an audience. I love that, because I enjoy meeting the people and being with the people. That's why I still do so many events. Broadcast shows we used to call remotes, and there's nothing nicer than to frisk in and hug and talk to people directly. I love it.
Yep.
It really makes you feel like you know what you're doing.
Yep. Well, let's definitely talk about that and plan it. Let's say it's going to be done. Just let me know as soon as you can when we can set a date. We'll set the date and we'll block it out on the calendar.
We'll do it. I look forward to meeting my cousins down there. And thank you for putting me on the air with you. I loved it, and I'm sorry that call had to be about this.
Yeah, listen, I'm grateful for you. Please do me a favor, stay well. Regards to Joni and hi to Mary too, okay?
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. That's the legendary Cousin Brucie from 77 WABC. We struck up a relationship several years ago, and he just, this is a guy that I went to bed with a little Sinclair transistor radio under my pillow, listening to all night, and I really used to have a hard time getting up, and I don't know if my mom's listening now, but that's why I had a hard time getting up listening to Cousin Brucie at night.